Hello and welcome back to Niche Tea, where we talk about drama happening in communities you may not be a part of. Last time we talked about how even published academics are not above petty bullshit, which came as no surprise at all to anyone who's ever been to grad school. Today's topic is something I've gotten the most requests about that I've ever gotten for any topic so far in this series, and that is to discuss the VTuber drama, which is currently unfolding. I want to flag up front there are some heavy topics in this related to bullying and SH, so please be aware of that as you continue. That I'm aware of, everyone directly involved in this is physically okay at this point. This is another one where I didn't have any direct knowledge before I started getting tagged and started looking into it myself, so I kind of had to learn about things from the ground up. So from the top, what is a VTuber? The term VTuber stands for virtual YouTuber, and it refers to creators who, instead of making content showing themselves on camera, use a 2 or 3D avatar instead. There's no set type of content you have to make as a VTuber. A lot of them do a mix of live streams and then posting videos either of the live streams or separately onto YouTube. And content topics range, though I feel like they're pretty heavy into like gaming, art content, commentary, things that are entertaining to do live. Now, VTubing itself is a bigger market than you might realize if it's not something that you're super tuned into. But for context, the estimated market size of VTubing globally in 2022 was $2.2 billion. Something that helps facilitate this are what are called VTuber management companies. These companies exist in summary because most VTubers are just people who are good at engaging a crowd and building a community and doing all of that, but aren't necessarily as good with the business side of things and don't necessarily have the technology they need. So these companies will find someone that they like and then approach them and say, hey, why don't you come sign a contract to work with us? We'll support you financially. We'll promote you on our channel. We'll help you do collaborations with our other big VTubers we manage. And in exchange for that, we're going to take a cut of the money you make from being a VTuber. They own any avatar that they make for you, even if it's based on original work. They own all of your YouTube channel, your Twitter, like everything. You do run those things day to day, but you have to abide by the terms that they lay out as part of the contract with them. And if for any reason you guys no longer work together, all of that stuff belongs to the agency, not you, the VTuber. Okay, so what happened? What we're talking about today is a situation that's been unfolding for the past 2 months or so around a VTuber formerly by the name of Selen Tatsuki and currently under the name Dokibird. I'm going to call her Dokibird for the rest of this just for simplicity's sake and also because it is her current handle. But the reason I bring up her former name is because the other major player in this is her former VTuber management agency named NijiSanji. Quick note, NijiSanji is owned by a company called Anycolor, and throughout this you'll see references to one or either of them. They are the same thing as far as we're concerned. So, for the last several years, Dokibird was a VTuber who was being managed by NijiSanji under the name Selen Tatsuki. She's very popular, had a pretty dedicated fan base. On YouTube, she had about 800,000 subscribers, and on Twitter, she had about 650,000 followers. This immediate set of events we're about to talk about kicked off last Christmas. Dokibird had been working on a music video for her fans, one that she'd apparently been paying for herself, like $15,000 was the number that I heard. She released it on Christmas, basically as a Christmas present to her fans, and within one day, it had been taken down. She then posts on Twitter, she's sorry that the song got taken down, but that management were the ones who privated it, meaning NijiSanji did it. She then encouraged people to re-upload it. The whole point was for her fans to have it. After this tweet, she then goes silent for like 2 days. Then on the 27th, she tweets out that she is at the hospital, that she had been in an accident. She only just got back her phone, and that's why she had been silent. She apologizes and says she will need to be there under supervision for a few days. People immediately start worrying because they know having her video taken down was a big hit for her. She spent a lot of time and put a lot of effort and money into that. Plus, NijiSanji isn't making commentary on it at all, where normally their official accounts are very good about being like, this is what's happening with our VTubers, and here are the people we care about, go give them love, whatever, and they're being completely silent. Then she goes silent again until, I believe, December 31st, when another tweet goes out saying that she's been released from the hospital. The thing is, she doesn't come back. So obviously her fans are confused, like, why isn't she back? Why isn't she streaming? Why isn't she tweeting? What's going on? People were starting to suspect she had actually been suspended by NijiSanji and that they just weren't saying anything because they wanted to keep the PR good. Claims started flying around that the most recent 2 tweets about her hospital visit were actually made by the NijiSanji team, not her. Because as I mentioned before, they have control over her accounts. They can log in whenever they want. And some people noticed, I shit you not, because of the apostrophe that was used in one of the tweets. It was like the dot one with a little curl on it. And that is supposedly the Japanese apostrophe because it comes from like Japanese keyboards. Whereas Dokibird is based in Canada and all her previous tweets had like the straight apostrophe. People continue to speculate. Things remain dark. Nobody knows where Doki is. They're getting really concerned for her. And then on February 5th, a lot of things happen all at once. One, NijiSanji announces that Selen Tatsuki, now Doki Bird, has been fired from NijiSanji. I'll put the notice up here for you guys to pause to read if you like, but in summary, it basically says there's a set number of rules as far as like permissions and, approvals and stuff you have to get. They claim that Selen has continuously violated. They're very vague about how that is that she's violated things. They make a nod to that music video I talked about that had gotten pulled down on the 25th, saying that there weren't proper permissions in place to post that on YouTube. But we know for a fact, because the original artist came out and said so, that she had permission from the artist to use that song. So there was no reason that anyone can think of why this would have been an issue. They then basically say that she shouldn't have then tweeted that management made the video come down because that made them look bad. They don't deny that that was the truth of what happened though. So what? In addition to this announcement, they also completely privated her Twitter and wiped her YouTube channel. It was an incredibly bad look. And come to find out, this is how she found out that she was fired. Within hours, I want to say, Doki Bird shows up under her Doki Bird current handles and says, "Hi, I'm Selen. I'm back. I'm here. I'm going to tell you what's been going on." This is where things do get a bit heavier. So again, trigger warning. Doki Bird explains that in December, she did go to the hospital because of an attempt. It was not an accident. This attempt was directly related to mismanagement, mistreatment, and bullying she claims she's experienced under NijiSanji. She was not specific as to where the bullying was coming from. She goes on to say she's basically starting all over under different handles and that, she's going to go live immediately and she would love to reconnect with her fans. She ended the day with her new YouTube channel at over 200,000 subscribers, so she did really well. NijiSanji was taking a lot of heat for the way they've handled this and everything related to it. The fact that they let this go on for so long, the fact that they clearly didn't give a shit about her mental health, the fact that their claims against her are not that great to begin with, but then even the claims they make, they don't even really have proof for. Also, yes, those two tweets from before did come from the NijiSanji management team acting as though they were her. Then the next day, NijiSanji releases a statement for their investors saying that the loss of Doki Bird was negligible. Which, yes, I understand what they were saying to their investors, but that was not good timing, besties. Then it seemed like things might have been calming down and Doki was just going on to do her own thing. But then 3 other NijiSanji VTubers do this weird live stream at the exact same time that they knew Doki Bird was going to be streaming herself, and she was going to be streaming Neopets for those who are looking for more Neopets content. And they give these super creepy accounts about how actually NijiSanji is great and Doki Bird was the problem. Again, no proof, no nothing. What was the point of this? It was very much giving 15-year-old Chewy apologizing for being from Taiwan. But in that video, those 3 VTubers mention a legal document that Doki Bird's lawyer had sent over to NijiSanji, and they were not supposed to have that legal document. They're talking about how they're worried because their personal information is in the legal document, but her personal information was in the legal document and you were not supposed to have it? And then when called out, NijiSanji was like, "Oh, well, we didn't break any laws." But then they went to the trouble of doing a formal apology over the investor statement saying that the loss of Doki Bird wasn't a big deal. And now because of that, Doki Bird has had to come back with another response because she was like, "I was ready to let this go, but you guys can't just leave me alone." In her follow-up statement, she's like, "Yeah, the legal document that I made on my own was to document events as they have happened. And because of that, it includes information about people that could be revealing. However, this was only for me to keep things clear in my mind with my lawyer. My lawyer then said, even though you don't plan on releasing this or doing anything with this, since you have this all written down, we should give this over as part of our negotiations and ongoing communication with the NijiSanji lawyers." The NijiSanji lawyers are the ones who then made it seem like she was going to be releasing these things or was threatening that in some way. And she vehemently denies that and apologizes even to those VTubers for making them think that she was trying to do that. She says multiple times in this that she just wants to move on. And truly, NijiSanji, leave her alone. You've made your VTubers look bad. Everyone's now accusing those 3 VTubers of being the people who bullied her internally, and you're not defending them. You made them stream that hostage negotiation statement on their channels instead of your official channels. This whole thing has been completely ridiculous, and I truly hope that Doki is able to just move on. She clearly has a really dedicated fan base who love her, and she doesn't want anything else from NijiSanji from what anyone can see, and they are grasping at straws at this point, and they can literally just walk away. I do absolutely love, though, that their stock price continues to absolutely tank because of the outrage at them, especially after that note to their investors about how it was going to be negligible and not a big deal. How's that working out?